Okay, as promised, I am going to go ahead and make the call. This call is going to be for Alcor.
I am broadcasting on all AM frequencies. I will be at the South Street Seaport every day at midday when the sun is highest in the sky. If you are out there, if anyone is out there, I can provide food, I can provide shelter, I can provide security. If there's anybody out there, anybody, please, you are not alone.
When was Alcor founded?
1972. The Alcor Life Extension Foundation, most often referred to as Alcor, is an American nonprofit organization based in Scottsdale, Arizona, United States.
So the reason for me calling Alcor today is to get the confirmation on the number of 172 people is the total number of people that are frozen in Alcor right now. If that number matches up, if I call them and they answer and they say that they have 172 people in there, it will have matched up with another 172 people from an event that happened in 1972. 1972 abortions.
There were 667 reported deaths during 1972 to 87, of which 240 were due to legally induced abortion, 88 due to illegal abortions, and 172 due to spontaneous abortions.
Thank you for calling Alcor Life Extension Foundation. Our business office is currently closed. If you would like to leave a message for a member of our staff to call you back on the next business day, please press 0 now. Otherwise, you will be transferred to our after-hours answering service. Thank you.
So maybe I can get the after-hours answering service from Alcor.
Thank you for calling the Alcor Life Extension Foundation Emergency Answering Service. If you are calling to report the death or near death of an Alcor member, please press 1 and remain on the line. An operator will assist you and then immediately contact our emergency response team. If this is not an emergency and you are requesting general information or would like to speak to an Alcor representative, please press 2 and leave a detailed message. An Alcor staff member will return your call as soon as possible.
We'll see how quick the response is.
Good morning, this is Melissa with the answering service. How may I help you?
Yeah, is this Alcor? Hello?
I'm with the answering service. Yes, I'll be happy to take your information.
Oh, okay. How many people are in? I want to know how many people are actually in the Alcor pods right now for
Okay. Are you calling regarding the death or near death of an Alcor member?
No, I'm
or another matter.
I'm considering on getting one of the pods. I saw that it was like $80,000 for the head, and that my life insurance would cover that. So I was trying to do more research on it, and I saw that it said that there was like 172 people in there now.
Okay. Are you dialing 480-905-1906?
I don't know. I just called the number that was on the website.
Okay, it's telling me to have you redial the number you dialed and choose the option to either speak to or to leave a message for an Alcor staff member.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know how popular it was. It said that there was like about 172 people in there, so I was trying to find out, if...
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have the information you're looking for, but you'll be able to speak to an Alcor staff member if you call back and choose the option to either speak to someone or leave a message for an Alcor staff member to return your call.
Oh, okay, I have to leave a message. They're not open then? I thought you guys were open. I'm sorry.
Okay. I am showing the office is open. They could be working remotely. I don't have that information. Like I said, you'll have to give them a call back.
Okay, I'll try again. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. As you can see, she didn't really want to give me too much information. They probably get a bunch of, crazy people that call there and stuff, but I'm not going to ask them crazy questions or or bring up anything else in 1972 because it really does not matter. The only thing that matters is we can get this number. If we can confirm from Alcor that there is 172 people in the pods, that's exactly how many spontaneous abortions that there were in 1972. And the links between 1972 and 2020 are so apparent, they're so overwhelming that it's very, very clear that 1972 was the beginning of something and 2020 is the end of something. What that is, I don't know, but I do know that I am pretty sure that we are in a simulated world, and that's what I'm trying to confirm. I need that number from them.
Thank you for calling Alcor Life Extension Foundation. Our business office is currently closed.
So maybe I'm calling the wrong Alcor number. I don't know. Let me try a different one. Let's try this again. Let's look up Alcor phone number. And yeah, it's Monday. Today is Monday. It's 11:20. So it should be right before lunch. Of course, Arizona I think is like 2 hours away, or like a 2 hour difference in time zone for me. So length time really matters. But it would be like 9 a.m. over there. So it should be like when everybody's getting into work, right? So you figure they would answer, but...
Hi, you've reached the voicemail of Alcor Solutions. During this current time, the company is working remotely from home until we can return to our office. Our mailbox will not be monitored regularly, so you may reach us at information@alcortech.com for any general queries, and finance@alcortech.com for any finance-related issues. We will reach out to you as soon as possible. Thank you and have a great day.
So as you see, I tried to contact Alcor to confirm that number, but so if I was to confirm the number and I looked it up, let's see if Google will say it. How many people are actually in Alcor?
As of August 31st, 2019, Alcor had 1,731 members, including 172 who have died and whose corpses have been subject to cryonic processes.
Okay, so when it says including 172 who have died and whose corpses have been subject to cryonic processes, that means that, so when you actually go into the pod, they consider you dead. They consider it a death, although you're really not dead. They're preserving you. They consider it death, so this is a nice little loophole to get your life insurance to actually pay for Alcor. So for people who don't really have $80,000 right off, to shell out, I think it's $230,000 to do the whole body. If you can get a life insurance, let's say some people have like $1 million life insurance, or even if you have like a $500,000 life insurance, you can do this and have your life insurance kick in and pay for you to be in the pod. So that's a nice loophole the way they did it. But what you need to understand is you just heard what it said. As of 2019, 172 people who have died and whose corpses have been subject to cryonic process. Subject to cryonic process. So there's only 172 people actually in the pods. The 1,731 members, that means that I can go ahead and become a member and start paying my way in, right? Like I can make a payment. I can pay like $5,000 a year out of pocket to bring my total down some, and then when I decide I'm going to go in, the rest comes out of my insurance. So that's pretty much what that is. Anybody can become a member and start paying into your pod, pretty much like to preserve yourself. But there is exactly 172 people in those pods, and you just heard when I called the Chronic Solutions, which is pretty much people from Chronics who are answering questions. They said that they are not working in office. And then you also heard that the other lady said that they're working remotely, which means there is nobody in the office. Which means that right now, if you wanted to go get yourself put in a pod today, as we speak, you show up with $230,000. There is nobody in that office. There is nobody in the labs to take you and put you in a pod. So we are at the number 172. And if you look at And this company was created in 1972. It was the same year that there was 172 spontaneous abortions. How does that matter? Well, also that was the last year that you could have illegal abortions, because the year after that, in 73, abortions were legalized. But the 172 spontaneous abortions is the exact number, 172 people who are in the pods. So that means in 2020, there are no more going in. That's it. Like I said, there's a beginning and there's an end. The beginning is 1972, when everything happened. Everything that you know. Your planet, the sun, the moon, the currency, video games, technology, DARPA, mind control, everything that you know, all of it, everything that shaped your world up until 2020. And not including the fact that in 1972, the President of the United States during an election year was Richard Nixon, which in 2020, it's Donald Trump. And both of them were under investigations. The Watergate scandal for Nixon, and then the thing that happened with Trump. These two guys are so similar, it's not even funny. They both were under threat of a sitting vice president that was a Democrat. 1972 and 2020 are forever linked in life and death. That's just all there is to it. This helps strengthen that case. 1972, 172 spontaneous abortions. In 2020, we are at the number of 172 people in the Alcor pods. And if you don't understand any of this stuff that I'm talking about, why Alcor matters so much, you need to go back and watch my video of my theory of 1972, We Live in a Matrix. You need to watch that video, because that video will explain why this all matters. There's nothing more really I can say other than, this seals the deal. This is it. This is it. And people who don't understand it, like I said, you'll never understand it, because you're an NPC. It's not your fault. This is your world. This world belongs to you. And the 172 people, I want to also say one other thing too. The 172 people that are in the pods, in the Alcor pods, those are the thinkers. Those thinkers, what I mean by thinkers is DARPA, which became DARPA in 1972. The DARPA technology with them being able to use simulated reality, because they use video games that became that created simulated reality, which also video games came out when? 1972, right? So the DARPA mind control and using the video game technology, which lets them create a simulated world, with that technology going into people who are frozen in these pods, in the 172 people who are in these pods, who wanted to go in these pods. It's not like they're trapped or anything. We wanted to go in these pods. We had reasons to go in. The one person on there, the Gregory guy who has the same birthday as I do, I'm pretty sure he was in his 30s when he went in. He wasn't an old guy. He wasn't in his 70s or 80s. He was in his 30s when he went in there. All this technology that all came together, DARPA, video games, and Alcor, that all came together to help build this simulated world. There's hundreds and hundreds of NPCs that we have in this world, thousands, millions, whatever. We don't even know if there's that many actual people that they tell us that there are. We only know, if you understand video games, you understand how video games work, that there's a POV, and your POV is where everything is active. And outside of your POV, everything is on pause, or everything just doesn't exist. But when you go back to that, let's say you go around a block, those things take up right where they would left off, as if they were still going. And people who don't understand video games don't understand how that works. It works. Okay, that's how it works. And that's how it's working for the 172 people that are in these pods. Those 172 people are the thinkers. Although the system is put in place with DARPA and making a simulated world, and they put all the NPCs in, they built your map, which in 1972 was the last time you saw a full picture of Earth. They built your map. They put all the people in there and everything, the NPCs in there. The 172 people are the people who actually are in a dream state inside of the Matrix, but it's keeping their brains active. So those thinkers that's what I call the 172 thinkers, because their brains are what's helping shape and keep the reality of this Matrix, keeping it as close to possible what would be we considered natural reality and not an artificial reality. This is an artificial reality and not a natural reality. So our brains are keeping us in the thought of that we're in a natural reality. So it's a subconscious, it's a unsubconscious and subconsciousness. When you're awake, you have your frontal subconscious, which is going, and you're also your back subconscious, which is going as well too. Your consciousness in the front and your subconsciousness in the back, I think is how I explain it. When you go to sleep, your consciousness in the front shuts off, but your subconscious continues to go. That is what it's like for us who are in these pods. Our subconscious is constantly going. It's constantly keeping everything working. Just like we don't have to think about how to make our hearts, how many beats our heart has to beat to stay alive per minute. We don't have to think that. We are, but it's not in our consciousness. It's in our subconsciousness. It's still going. It's telling us to breathe. It's telling all this stuff to work, right? But in the front, your consciousness does not have to concentrate on that. And that's exactly what Alcor, DARPA, and a simulated world is all doing. It's all keeping the thinkers. The thinkers are the subconsciousness of this world. The consciousness is everything that you think is reality that's real. But it's the subconsciousness of the 172 thinkers that keeps it going. Now, if you take out the 172 thinkers completely out of the simulated world, then most likely this simulated world will probably still keep going. There may be a problem with it because the subconsciousness of the 172 people who come from a natural reality are not there to help keep shaping the world to make it look reality. So you may take out the 172 people, you come back into the simulated world, and it may have some kind of time glitch. 1972 and 2020. They're time glitches. And that's what I'm trying to explain. Maybe this year, this 2020, with everything going on and stuff, and the way things are happening, that this is going to be it. It's going to, the 172 thinkers, maybe they're all going to wake up. I don't know. I have no idea on that. That's only a theory. That part is there. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I do know that 2020 is the number that we use for perfect vision, right? To say, hey, I can see clear. You can only see clear if you have 2020. Well, the year is 2020. And Alcor 1972 now has 172 people in the pods, and in 1972 there was 172 spontaneous abortions. Those two numbers are forever linked from 1972 and 2020.
David, look at all these people. Seems as though they're just all chatting away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with you.
No.
And yet, maybe they're only here because you wanted them to be here. You are their god. And not only that, but you can make them obey you, or even destroy you.
Well, what I'd love for them to do is shut the fuck up. Especially you. You see?
You and I signed a contract.